Welcome back to yet another book review. Today we're going to talk about the book The ABM Effect by Alisha, London, founder and CEO of Momentum ITSMA. That's a lot of letters, but they're a good company, I believe. So, The ABM Effect, the book, is great for companies, teams, organizations, and anyone who's getting into the field of account based marketing called ABM. In the book, there's a whole bunch of real world examples that are given for ABM, how it operated with major, really large corporations, how you can take advantage of it, and just kind of how it works, the problems and solutions that are out there, and what you need to do as an individual ABM person, and as a department, and as an organization. It's a lot of valuable lessons to be learned from this book, and I have a few key takeaways for you. First of all, the most important thing is that ABM, you're selling to single companies. You're not going to sell to a large market. You're not going to sell to ideal customer profiles. Now, don't get me wrong, these companies are very large companies, but you're not going to be selling to hundreds of companies at once. You're going to have marketing efforts that are going after one particular company, the decision makers in that company, the teams in that company who are going to make decisions. And those are the types of people you're going to resonate with. You're going to have individualized marketing messages for them. So the problem is a lot of companies, they try to sell to ideal customer profiles. And in ABM, you need to sell to and target individual companies, individual buying committees, individual parts of those companies. So understand your client deeply, make them feel that they're understood, and focus on solutions that bring very unique value to them. Not mass market, but individualized marketing plans. Also, marketing and sales, they have to work together as a unified team to deliver those personalized experiences that today's buyers do expect. And again, personalization is the key here. So today's clients, they're more educated than ever, and they expect a buying experience tailored to their specific needs and their goals. So ABM requires building meaningful, value-driven relationships at every stage of the buying cycle and beyond, by the way. Now, there's 5 main stages of a buying cycle for these big companies. And first one is that they need to recognize a need for change. Otherwise, they're not going to buy anything. Then they're going to have to clarify exactly what the problem is. Next, they're going to be evaluating solutions. After that, they have to choose the right path. And then, of course, there's implementation of that solution. So your sales and the marketing team, the ABM team, they have to work together to educate those decision makers, and they're often big teams. They need to support those buying teams. And most importantly, you need to be seen as a trusted consultant and a trusted advisor. You don't want to be a salesperson, you want to be an advisor. Now, the buying process is changing over time, and quite rapidly too, if I can add. It's not made by individuals, it's made by larger teams. The average is 11 people, but there can be a lot more. So you're going to have to get into a relationship with a lot of these teams, a lot of the individuals in the team. And you can't just focus on just 1 or 2 individuals and take them out to dinner and it's all said and done. You need to create a value driven relationship. And that's one of the key messages of this book. Next, you go to sales and marketing. It needs to be a unified team. The ABM team needs to be unified. So a lot of times sales is in their own world, marketing is in their own world. I'm guilty of both. They work in their silos, and that undermines ABM. For traditional marketing sales, it seems to work. But for ABM, you need a dedicated, combined team that builds trust and gives you seamless, coordinated communication with your clients. So if you're an organization just starting out with ABM, create a separate department with seasoned professionals on both ends, and perhaps a seasoned ABM professional if you can find one, and set it up from there. Don't have one department or another department determine this course. It's too much, and it's got to be involved with multiple departments operating cohesively as one. Now, you also need to build your reputation and trust. So, reputation is everything in enterprise buying decisions. Make sure you're out there. If you're out there and you have good reviews, people trust you, make sure you're on enterprise level uh, boards that people are going to read. So become a trusted advisor and demonstrate clear understanding of the potential client's goals, their challenges, and their needs. Everybody's different. Keep your open communication, be reliable, and deliver on the promises that are critical to your credibility. Clients need to know that they can count on you. You know, it's a lot for a particular buyer and decision maker, especially on the business level, to make those decisions. They're putting their reputation at stake, they're putting their company at stake. So make sure that you're delivering upon your promises and that what you promise is what you deliver and deliver it on time. There's also buyer stagnation, and that happens because there's too much information out there, there's too much risk out there. So buyers can get stuck in a decision-making process, and it does happen a lot. So you want to educate them on the risks of inaction, but avoid overselling. You have to support the entire buying process. You got to have tailored solutions for all the stakeholders and all the influencers in that buying process. And remember, it's got to be tailored to that company, to that department, the solutions that they really need, not solutions that you want to necessarily sell or resell or that other companies are trying to push. It's got to be the solutions they need. Trust me, they're going to have a lot of other vendors out there, each of them trying to sell something. Be the one that meets their needs. The next thing here is the core of ABM. And I've kind of touched upon this a few times, but you are focusing on individual accounts. It's not a one-size-fits-all strategy. And success in ABM depends on selecting the right accounts, not only for them, but for you. And then gaining really deep insights into the individual teams and the decision makers and the rationale behind their decision and your product or service that's going to make a difference. They don't want to buy the same thing. That's not why they're in the market. They want to buy something that's going to provide the solution that they need at this time. Still might take a few months or 6 months or even a year for them to decide, but they need the solution that's going to make that change and that's safe and secure for them. So author Alisha Lyndon, she emphasizes that ABM should center around one-to-one strategies. And I put that in my own quote, one-to-one strategies, where every action is tailored to the specific account. So, Alisha, wonderful book. It's a lot to learn. I've read a few other ABM books, to be sure, and worked in that department. There's a lot to learn from this book. So if you're out there, go ahead and get this book. There's a lot to learn from it, especially from all the case studies and examples that are in the book. If you just read that part alone, you're going to learn a lot, and your team will learn a lot from it. As always, you can buy this book on Amazon with my link below. You don't get charged any extra for that. Or support your local bookstore. You can do that too. So my final thoughts is that this book has so much practical advice. There's so many studies in here with really big companies, the type that your company wants to go after. And it shows how ABM works very successfully when you do it the right way. Just try to understand their clients' needs from their point of view. Remember, you're selling to one company, one individual, one buying team. Mass market is not what you want here. And the book lays out a pretty clear roadmap of how to go ahead with your ABM strategy, what steps you need to take, and gives really good examples. So remember, it's not about closing the deal. It's about making the difference. Thanks again for watching. Please like and share this video. And please connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. And as always, I'll see you at the next book.